This conference will now be recorded.
Hello guys, very good evening for all. I hope you all are well and doing good. So guys, am I audible for all properly? Is also my screen visible for all? Please confirm. All right, great. So guys, in the last session, we have discussed the topics golden rules of account and journal entries. And I had given you a few questions to pass out in your journal entry transition practice. I hope you all have done the same. Before we start discussing those topics of the journal entry, if you guys have any doubt, any confusion from the last session topic, please ask. Dhanamma, as Sagar, could you please mute yourself? All right. So, guys, I hope all these previous topics clear for all of you. So, let's discuss those transaction entries which I had given to all of you. I hope you all have practiced for those. So, guys, kindly type the first transaction entry is journal entry in the chat box. Started business with cash rupees 40,000. What will be journal entry for this one? Sainath, why you are saying purchase to cash? There is no purchase mentioned here. All right. Yes, guys, most of your answers are correct. As because it is a business start entry, so cash is coming into the business. So cash we have to debit as per the real account golden rule. And in business start transactions, capital always go for the credit. That's why cash account debit to capital account will be the transaction entry. Now the next is deposited cash into bank. What will be the entry for the second point? All right, as because in this transaction of the second point, we are depositing the cash. So cash is going out from our end and it is coming in into the business. Sorry, into the bank. Okay. So for that reason, bank we have to debit as per the real account golden rule and cash we have to credit. So bank account debit to cash account will be the entry. If you guys have any confusion in this one, please ask. Bank account debit to cash account will be the transaction entry. Now comes up on the third point, purchase goods by check rupees 15,000. What will be journal entry, guys, for the third point? Please type your answers. All right, as because in this transaction we are purchasing goods in check. Okay, so purchase always have to debit, and because we are paying the amount through a check, so bank will be credit. Purchase account debit to bank account will be the entry. Now the fourth point, withdraw cash from bank for personal use. What do you think about this one? All right, as because we are withdrawing the cash for the office use. Office use means it's a normal withdrawal entry. So cash is coming in into the business. So cash we have to go for the debit, and we are withdrawing from the bank. So bank amount is going out. That's why bank we have to credit. Cash account debit to bank account will be the entry. Amisha, we don't debit the drawings here because they are not withdrawing for the personal use. They are withdrawing for the office use. Drawing only comes when the amount is withdrawn for the personal use. All right. Fifth point, purchase goods from Shiva, rupees 15,000. What will be the entry, guys, for this one? Fifth point. Purchase goods from Shiva, rupees 15,000. All right, as in this transaction, we are purchasing the goods from Shiva. Shiva means a person, a party. So as because we are purchasing from Shiva and there is no payment method is mentioned, so we will treat this transaction in on credit basis. So when a transaction of purchase and sale on credit basis, then we have to record the party. But if there is a payment method is given like by cash or by a check, so we will record the cash and bank only. But here is not given, so we will treat this as the credit purchase. For that reason, Shiva will be our sundry creditors and go for the credit. Purchase account debit to Shiva account will be the transaction and journal entry. If you guys have any confusion in this, please ask. The fifth transaction journal entry will be purchase account debit to Shiva account. Because it's a credit purchase, that's why we have to mention the creditor later in the credit. Next, the sixth point, cash sale rupees 40,000. What will be journal entry, guys? Yes, it is basically cash to sale. As because we are selling the product, sale we all know always have to credit, and we are receiving the amount in cash, so cash we have to debit. Cash account debit to sales will be the entry. Now the seventh point, sold goods to Damodaran rupees 23,000. What will be journal entry for this seventh point? So in this transaction, basically, guys, what is going on? We are selling goods to Damodaran. So sale we all know always have to credit. So in the credit sale will go. As because we are selling to Damodaran, Damodaran becomes our customer or the sundry debtors. As because the payment received method is not given here, so that's why we will treat this as the credit sale. So for that reason, Damodaran means our sundry debtors we have to debit and sale we have to credit. So Damodaran account debit to sale account will be the entry. Damodaran to sale. Damodaran will go for the debit and sale go for the credit. If you guys have any confusion in this, you can ask. All right. Now the eighth point, receive cash from Damodaran. What will be journal entry? As because Damodaran, from the Damodaran we are receiving the payment. So cash is coming, cash go for the debit and Damodaran. Damodaran is a person, person go for the personal account. Personal account rules say debit the receiver, credit the giver. So Damodaran is the giver here. So that for that reason, Damodaran go for the credit. Cash account debit to Damodaran account will be the entry. If you guys have any confusion in this, you can ask. All right. Now the ninth point, withdraw cash from bank for personal use. What will be journal entry, guys? All right. So for the ninth point, we are withdrawing the cash from bank for personal use. If we are withdrawing anything from the business, that go for the drawing. So drawing we have to debit. We are withdrawing from the bank, so bank go for the credit. Drawing account debit to bank account will be the entry. If you guys have any confusion, please ask. Drawing we have to debit, and bank we have to credit. All right. Now the 10th point, it's a very simple. Paid electric bill by cash. All right, electric bill is our expense. Go for the debit. We are paying through the cash, so cash go for credit. Means electric bill debit to cash will be the entry. Now, 11th point, taken loan from Manoj by check rupees 90,000. What will be journal entry, guys? Guys, I am receiving most of the answers are incorrect. Only I have received 2 or 3 answers are correct basically, and others are incorrect. So let me tell you, we are taking the loan from Manoj by check. Okay, we are taking the loan. If you are taking the loan from any person or from any of the bank, that means your liability is increasing here. Okay, and you are receiving the amount. So we are receiving the amount by the check. If we are receiving by the check, it will go for the debit for bank. So bank we have to debit because as per the real account golden rule, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So check is coming, so bank go for the debit. This is clear now. Now what will go for the credit? We are taking the loan from Manoj. So if you write only Manoj, that becomes a person, a creditor or a debtor. Okay, so that is not appropriate. If you write only loan, company is not going to know from whom you have taken the loan. So that's for that reason we have to mention proper loan from Manoj. From whoever we are taking the loan, we have to mention that name in the ledger. Like loan from Manoj, loan from bank, loan from HDFC Bank, loan from XYZ Limited, whatever it is. Loan from Manoj, we have to credit. Bank, we have to debit. Bank account debit to loan from Manoj will be the transaction journal entry. Loan from Manoj will be our liability. Okay. Yes, the same example we have discussed in the yesterday. There are two ledgers will be occurred in this. First is bank, the second is loan from Manoj. Bank we have to debit and loan from Manoj we have to credit. Loan from Manoj will be our liability. And when a liability increase, we have to credit that. This also we have discussed yesterday. So guys, is this 11th point transaction journal entry clear for all of you? If you guys still have any doubt, confusion, you can ask. Basically, this is the receipt entry. So go for the receipt voucher in the Tally software. As because we are receiving the amount, so it will becomes the receipt transaction. Manish, you are asking seventh and eighth question. All right. In the seventh question, we have sold the goods to Damodaran. So sale always go for the credit, and Damodaran is a customer here, our sundry debtor. As because it's a credit sale, so we have to mention the party name. For that reason, Damodaran we have to debit. And in the eighth point, we are receiving cash from the person. So cash we are receiving, cash is an asset. As per the real account rule, debit what comes in. So cash we have to debit. Damodaran is the person, go for the personal account, and the personal account rules say debit the receiver, credit the giver. Damodaran is a giver here, so that's why it will go for the credit. Cash account debit to Damodaran will be the entry for eighth point. Varsha, it basically depend which kind of transaction entry you are going to write. Okay, suppose for the taken loan from Manoj by check, if you are going to pass the two transaction entries, we can say taken loan from Manoj by check. Okay, so if you want to type the two transaction entries, first entry will go for the general voucher, and the second entry then go for the basically for the receipt voucher, you can say. Like in the first transaction, we can write the journal entry like loan from Manoj, go for the credit. That is not any doubt. And in the debit, in the general voucher, we have to mention, we have to create a ledger here. By the name, we can say loans. Okay. So loans account debit to loan from Manoj, we can say. And then we have to deposit the check into the bank. But it is better if we type only one transaction entry for this. In one transaction entry, that will be fine. Now guys, here comes the 12th point. Purchase computer for office use by check rupees 50,000. What will be journal entry for the 12th point? Varsha, you are saying for the 11th point two entries like loan account debit to Manoj, and the second entry Manoj account debit to bank. Okay, but tell me in which what is the loan account here? It's a liability or it's an asset? because if it's a liability, we cannot debit the liability if it is increasing. And in the second entry, you are saying Manoj account debit to bank. This is showing that you are paying the amount to Manoj. So due to this, both these entries are incorrect. We can finish only one transaction for that, one transaction entry. That which one is like bank debit to loan from Manoj. There is nothing else. For the 12th point, guys, we are purchasing the computer for office use by check rupees 50,000. So if you are purchasing for office use, that means you are purchasing the fixed asset. So if we are purchase the fixed asset, we have to write the asset name as we have discussed yesterday. So computer account debit to bank will be the entry for the 12th point. Computer we have to debit as fixed asset, and bank we have to credit as the payment. Computer debit to bank. Is the 12th point clear for all? If you guys have any confusion, you can ask. Computer go for the debit and bank go for the credit. All right. 13th point, purchased a computer for resale. What will be entry for the 13th point, guys? All right. So most of you are saying computer to cash. That is the wrong entry. As because we are purchasing the computer for resale. Resale means we are purchasing now, then we will sell those products. So it becomes the trading goods. So as we have discussed earlier, if we purchase or sell the trading goods, we don't have need to mention that goods name. We will not only purchase or sell. So for that reason, purchase account debit to cash account will be the entry, because there is no party given and also no payment method is given. So we will treat this in cash. Purchase debit to cash will be the entry for the 13th point. If you guys have any confusion in this, please ask. All right, I'm explaining once again. In this entry, we are purchasing computer for resale. Resale means it's a trading product. We are purchasing now and then we will sell those products. So it becomes the trading goods. So as we have discussed earlier, let me show you what we have discussed. This one we have discussed that if we purchase or sell the trading goods, we don't have need to mention the stock item name. We will mention only purchase or sale in the debit or credit. So for that reason, only purchase will go for the debit, and in the credit, there is no payment method is given, and also there is no party name. Okay. If there is a party name mentioned, it becomes the credit purchase, but there is no given. So we will treat this in cash. That's why cash will go for the credit. Purchase debit to cash will be the entry. Is that clear now for all? All right, great. Now the 14th point, paid interest on loan to Manoj, rupees 1800. What will be entry, guys? All right, we are paying the interest on loan to Manoj. So Manoj is a person and interest on loan is our expense. We have to mention proper interest on loan because we pay interest on many things. So for that reason, we have to mention a proper account interest on loan. So interest on loan is an expense and Manoj is a person. We have discussed this point earlier as well in this transaction. Let me show you this one. Paid wages to Mr. Kumar. This is the same transaction, the similar transaction you can say. I have told you that if there is a person name and expense, both are given, we will record only the expense. And the payment method is not given here, so we will treat this in cash. So for that reason, interest on loan debit to cash will be the entry. Interest on loan, go for the debit as because it's an expense, and we are paying this by the cash, so go for cash, go for the credit side. If you guys have any confusion, you can ask. All right, guys, so we have discussed all these transactions journal entries. I hope all they clear for all of you. If you still have any doubt, confusion in these 14 transaction entries, you can ask. Have a look on this and let me know. All right, I'm explaining the 13 and 14 and 1 and 2. Okay, let's see first 13 and 14. In the 13th point, we have purchased the computer for resale. Resale means we are purchasing now and later we will sold this. So we will sell those products. Okay, so it becomes the trading goods. If we purchase or sell the trading goods, we have to mention the purchase and sale, not the goods name. This point you have noted earlier, this one. So for that reason, purchase basically go for the debit and Basically, there is no payment method given, so we will treat this in cash. Purchase debit to cash will be the end. Is this clear now? Now for the 14th point, paid interest on loan to Manoj. Interest on loan is our expense. Manoj is a person. If in a transaction, person and expense both are given, we will record only the expense. So expense go for the debit, interest on loan, and payment method is not given. So we will treat this payment in cash. Interest on loan, debit to cash will be the entry. Is that clear now? Now the first and second point. First point, it is saying started business with cash rupees 40,000. So basically it's a business start entry, and in the business start entries, capital will always go for the credit, as because the business amount is basically invested by the owner is a capital treat. So for that reason, capital go for the credit, and we are receiving the cash. Business is receiving the cash, so cash go for the debit because it is coming in. So cash account debit to capital account will be the end. Is that clear? Dhanma as Satagar. Is that clear now? All right, great. Thank you. Second point is deposited cash into bank. So in this entry, we are depositing our cash into our bank account. So cash is going out from the end. If any asset goes out, go for the credit. In the bank, amount is coming in. So bank go for the debit. It's simple. Bank account debit to cash account will be the entry. Is that clear now? If you guys still have any confusion in any of the transaction entry, you can ask. All right. Now let's discuss about some reports. I am discussing about three reports. So there are many in the Tally software in the accounting as well, but these three are main. First, financial report is a balance sheet. Balance sheet basically, guys, contains the information of any of the company of assets and liabilities. How many assets we have and how much liability we have. All these things, the balance sheet will tell us in the Tally software and in the manual accounting as well. If I talk about profit and loss contains our company's expense and the incomes. All the expenses, all the incomes will comes under the profit and loss in Tally software. And profit and loss also shows us that how much profit we are getting and or how much loss we are getting. Then the trial balance. Trial balance contains all the debit and credit ledgers. Trial balance basically divide the debit ledgers on one side and credit ledgers one side. It contains all basically assets, expense both, and liability income both. Assets, liabilities, expense, incomes, all the ledgers, all kind of ledgers comes under the trial balance. But balance sheet only contains assets and liabilities, and profit and loss only contains expenses and incomes. All right, guys. So as we have discussed all of these our theoretical topics about Tally Prime, basics of accounting, accounting terminology, types of account, golden rules of account, journal entries, financial statements or reports. I hope all these clear for all of you. Now let's see some other transaction entries as well so that you can relate and practice for these. All right. So guys, have a look on this first point. On 1st April, owner invested cash in company of rupees 1 lakh. What will be journal entry? Please type your answers very quickly. Yes, as because owner is investing the amount, investment go for the capital, and we are receiving the cash, so cash go for the debit. Cash debit to capital will be the entry. Second point, on 2nd April, company paid advertisement expense of rupees this in cash. It is very simple. Advertisement expense go for the debit, paying through the cash go for the credit. Advertisement account debit to cash will be the entry. Third point, on 1st April, company receive interest of rupees 9,000 in cash. Sarish, why you are debiting the company? It's a simple entry, guys. We are receiving the interest, so we are receiving the amount through cash. Cash is coming in, so go for the debit, and interest received. Interest received is our income here, so for that reason it will go for the credit. So cash account debit to interest received will be the transaction journal entry. Now the next is fourth point. On the 2nd April, company received dividend of rupees 50,000 and interest on FD rupees 1,50,000 and deposited it into the ICICI Bank. So what will be journal entry, guys? All right, so in this transaction, we are receiving the dividend and interest. Both of these will be our income, so both go for the credit. And we are depositing these amounts into the bank, so bank go for the debit. Bank account debit to interest received to dividend received. Bank debit and interest and dividend both go for the credit. Most of answers are correct. Now, on 2nd April, company transfer cash of rupees 5,000 to petty cash. For those who don't know what is petty cash is just a cash in the company just for the small expenses. For the minimal expenses, company separates some extra cash. It is called the petty cash. So guys, what will be the journal entry for this one? Type your answers. Yes, it is very simple. We are transferring the cash to petty cash. So cash is going out and petty cash is coming in. So petty cash go for the debit, cash go for the credit. Petty cash account debit to cash. All the answers are correct. Now, 6th point, company transferred 2 lakh from ICICI Bank to HDFC Bank. All right, this entry is also very simple. We are transferring the amount from ICICI to HDFC. So basically from ICICI it is going out and in HDFC it is coming in. So HDFC debit to ICICI Bank. Guys, just for your points, these entries of transfer also considered as the contra transactions. These entries are also the contra entries, okay? Now, 7th point, owner invested home furniture into business worth rupees 5 lakhs. What will be the entry? Dheeraj, your answer is very incorrect. So here in this transaction, what is going on? The company's owner is investing their home furniture into the business. So this time they are introducing the asset instead of the cash. Okay. So in all the business start entries, basically capital go for the credit and that asset which is owner investing and introducing into the business go for the debit that I have told you earlier. For that reason, furniture debit to capital will be the entry. Furniture go for the debit as because it's a fixed asset and capital go for the credit because it is invested by the owner. So it's the owner's amount. Is that clear for all? If you guys have any confusion in this, you can ask. In the 7 point, owner is investing their home furniture into the business. So capital go for the credit as because it's the owner amount, owner investing, and furniture go for the debit because in the business furniture is coming in. Furniture account debit to capital account will be the end. The 8th point, owner withdraw cash from HDFC Bank for personal use. In this, owner is withdrawing the cash for the personal use. So drawing go for the debit and HDFC Bank go for the credit. Drawing debit to HDFC Bank will be the end. Ninth point, company transfer 5,000 from Mehta account to Kumar account. Kumar account debit to Mehta account. It is simple. All right. All right then guys, let me show you. We have discussed basically the theoretical part. So now let me show you how you have to download and install the TelePrime software into your PC or laptop. You don't have to do anything. Just go for the Google and search here TelePrime. You can type download as well. After this, you will see this site telesolution.com download or download telesolutions. Simply open this one and here download option. Prime release 2.1 means their version of this one. Simply click on the download. After when you click on this download option, the process will get started. It is asking me to save my file. I am going to save this file on the in the downloads. All right, save it. Then you will see the setup file is being started to download and it will get downloaded. After downloading this file, just open that file. It will show you the option to install. And after that, the software of TelePrime will get installed into your PC or laptop. It is very simple. I am sharing this link in the chat. You guys can use. For the tally practice, you have to make sure you have a PC or laptop because tally software does not work on the smartphone and you cannot practice on that. So please try to arrange from somewhere like from your friend or you can go for a cyber cafe as well if you want to do for the practice. All right. Guys, kindly have a screenshot of these transaction entries as well. These transaction entries you have to practice in your homework. You have to pass the journal entries for these. So please have a screenshot of this. And also I will tell you to the administration departments to send all of these notes and PDFs for you. You will receive soon these by the mail so that you don't have to take screenshot more. If you guys do not have PC or laptop, basically Teleprime software does not work on the smartphone. You have to arrange some from somewhere, okay? Or for your practice, you can go for a cyber cafe. You can borrow from your friend for 2 or 3 days in a week so that you can practice for the topics. Like if you are in your college or university, you can practice there as well. All right, guys, then you have to install the Teleprime software and you have to pass these transaction journal entries. In the next session, we will move on to the practical. We will see how we have to start the Tele software and how we have to work on the Tele software easily. If you guys have any doubt, any confusion still left in your mind, you can ask. If you don't have, then the session is completed for the day. See you in the next session, guys. Bye bye. Take care.